Welcome, everybody, to Midday Magazine for this Wednesday, November 27th, 2024. Have your host, James J. Maloff here. In part two today, we're going to talk to our friends at the ODC. We've got Lisa and Maddie in with us. We'll see if David's able to stop by, too, talk milkweed market and some other fun things with our friends at the ODC. Right now, we have Wood County Board Supervisor Lance Plimlin with us. Lance, always good to have you with us. Thanks for the time.
Thanks, James. Always a pleasure to be here.
And you brought in Wood County Rescue Squad Officer Mike Weiberg here. Mike, thank you for being here again.
Thank you for having me.
It's been a while. Good to see you, man. Thanks for being here.
It's been a while, about a year.
First off, want to thank both of you for everything you put into our community. Thank you so much for that. And Lance had the idea to bring in Mike to put some focus on this, and I really do appreciate that, Lance.
Yeah, this is, it's important, the work that they do. Mike directs our rescue squad, that whole entire group. He handles generally the budget, the fundraising, and everything we do. And I always refer to Mike kind of as, our version of a Navy SEAL. That's sea, air, and land. And he does it all. If you need somebody to fly a jet, guy sitting next to me, I'm serious. Need somebody to dive, he's here. And then obviously the stuff he does on land. In fact, I think the first time I met you, Mike, was I knew you previously, but you guys were in the middle of a water rescue that turned into recovery out of Lake Nepco. Yes. And you threw me the keys to his house and said, go get some more air tanks. So I'm going, now I know he's on land, below water, and I know he flies. So the rescue squad, though, provides a tremendous service to the community, and the amount of incidents they respond to and the fact that they're all volunteers. I wanted to make sure that people knew what we do and how we fundraise for those opportunities.
Yeah, and Mike, I could spend the next hour just talking to you about you, man. I would love to do. I think I mentioned that the last time you were in, that I'd love to be able to do that sometime. So that's another show. We're doing that show someday, sir. But I say that in a little bit of jest, but also some truth to that. I mean, the things that you have put into your life, you've put into this community and into this program, and I greatly appreciate that. And the community is better for it. But for those that may not know, Mike, what Wood County Rescue Squad is. Lance gave us a bit of a breakdown of it. Could you give us a little more? It is made up of volunteers. It is an integral part of our enforcement here.
Yes, it's a 100% volunteer organization. We don't get paid to be on scene or on call. The men and women on our group come from all walks of life, carpenters, police officers. I work full-time at Wapaka Foundry as a pilot. And we're trained in different areas. Some are scuba divers, some people specialize in boating, and it's just people that in their spare time give their time to come and they want to give back to the organization, give back to the community, and they like to help people in a time of need when they can't help themselves.
It's something that Sheriff Becker and I have talked about a couple of times, how integral this group is and how at times it can cover gray area. It can cover bases that aren't covered or help that isn't, that could be used or something. But in more detail, Mike, could you tell us the kind of work, that a day in the life, if you will, of what it is to be a part of the Wood County Rescue Squad?
Well, 90% of the time, 99% of the time, you're on call. Yeah. So I carry a pager with me, and when things are going great, we can go a week or two and not have a call. You might have 3 calls in one day. Yeah. And I'm going to say 95% of our calls are vehicle accidents, either with injuries or unknown injuries. And we mostly focus on the outside of Wisconsin Rapids because obviously the city has a full-time fire department and they're capable of doing it themselves. We have helped them on a couple calls in the city when it's, they don't have enough personnel or they haven't called them in yet. So, but and we do other stuff. We do special events, demos, missing persons, Project Lifesaver. We're really involved with Project Lifesaver. So there's a lot of different stuff. Sometimes we get called in to help out with traffic at a major fire. Volunteer fire department, say like Pittsville or something, doesn't have enough. They're fighting the fire. Well, as they're running tankers back and forth, we might help control traffic if they're crossing, like say Highway 13 or something, running from one end to the other. Filling tanks, so they don't have to stop at the intersection. So, different things like that.
When you need that group, you need that group. I mean, extrication, in an accident, those water rescues, those, underwater events that occur, all of those, and it's just so important. When you see that truck, I think you mentioned, oftentimes you'll see the rescue truck. They're not out just showing off the truck as they're driving around town. Those people are in that truck or in their driveway 24/7. So if they have to stop at the store. If you see that truck at Walmart, it's probably there because they're on call 24/7.
Yes, that's correct. Somebody's using it as their personal vehicle, but they're donating their time to be on call.
Yeah.
They might not get a call that day,
Yeah.
and I want them to go on with the rest, with their normal duties in their lives. But if that pager goes off, they're running out of Walmart or wherever. They're getting in their truck and they're going to the call. They might be gone for 20 minutes. They might be gone for 4 hours.
Appreciate that breakdown so much, Mike, of the examples that you gave us there, in part because it also explains why somebody like yourself is such a perfect fit for this. You're a man of many talents. You're a Renaissance man. You've got a number of different things that you excel at, and when something like this, you don't know what emergency you're going to need or what kind of person you're going to need for said emergency.
Sure.
You gave us a bunch of different examples that are a lot of different things. So being able to have people that are versatile and able to do certain stuff. I bring this up for one, to give credit to you in these volunteers, but to also, one of the other parts of this conversation today is to encourage people to volunteer and be a part of this program. And I know that there are people out there listening that would be good candidates, that would be good volunteers for this. They may just not realize it. I think giving them examples of the kind of work that's done there is like, oh, wait a minute, I can do that, or I could help out with that. And maybe they're realizing they may be a good volunteer, didn't even know.
Right.
And we could certainly use more volunteers for this program.
Oh, can always use more volunteers. And that's not just us. That's any department.
Yes, good
All
note.
the volunteer fire departments, in the county. I mean, we basically got 2 full paid on time, or, paid departments, Marshfield and Wisconsin Rapids. Everybody else is volunteer. So everybody is looking for volunteers, not just our rescue squad.
As long as we're on that point, Mike, when we're the kind of people we're looking for volunteers, again, to hopefully give some people out there an idea of, oh, I could maybe do this, or they know somebody that would make a good volunteer and they can mention it to them. Are there certain types of individuals we're looking for this? Anything in particular?
I think it's somebody that would just like to help out in their community. And we take anybody that's got any type of skill, or maybe an interest, not even skill, and we would help train them. We've paid for people to get their scuba diving license and to go further to get ice diving certification, advanced diving. It's just people that have a knack for something and they want to expand on it and donate their time to the community. I mean, like I said, we got people from all walks of life on our group, and not just our group, other groups also. And if you have an interest, maybe you don't live here in Wisconsin Rapids or area, you might live up in the Marshfield area. Well, there's plenty of departments up there that are always looking for it.
Lance, how cool is that, to what Mike just said there about if you want to help and you want to be a part of the scuba diving program, being able to fund that so people can take that. That's I didn't know. I thought I did my homework pretty good for this interview. I did not know that. That is pretty cool.
Well, we keep some stuff from you just so you don't know everything. But, no.
Keep it interesting.
The members of the group are incredible. And the fact that they do this as volunteers goes above and beyond. And it's such an integral part of the community. And you don't know how much you need them until you need them. Even the special events they staff, it could be the state water ski tournament or some of the other largely attended events where they're on site, is just incredible. And like I said, they do this with volunteer time, and we do have a rescue vehicle, and we're in the process of replacing that right now.
I want to get right to that. That's where I want to go right next.
It's an expensive proposition. You're looking at, you're pushing $500,000 to put one of these together. So we do a number of fundraisers within the community to help do that. Like I said, if you had everybody in the community kicked in $5, we'd have no problem.
No problem.
But we do fundraisers, and there you go. There's your segue.
Yes. Let's dive right into that, because as you mentioned there, Lance, you are transitioning to a new emergency vehicle. Let's talk about that a little bit and what that new vehicle means for this community and for this group.
Yes, our last chassis is a 2010 International, and if you went on miles, it's probably got about 140,000 on it. But if you go by the hour meter, because we might go to a scene that runs for 8 hours, now it's got over 300,000.
Yeah.
It's starting to nickel and dime us. It's in the shop, a lot. Then it goes for a stretch and it runs good. So we did a bunch of fundraising. We also had great help from the Legacy Foundation. They donated a big chunk of money. So we ordered a 2024 F600. We're actually going to downsize the chassis. The one we have now is fairly large. It's hard to get into people's driveways. Fairly heavy. So we're going to downsize the truck a little bit. And make it more simple. 4-wheel drive instead of chains, gas engine versus a diesel engine, and make it more economical. We already have the chassis. Then the Lions Club was gracious enough to let us store it. Stainless and Repair in Marshfield is going to build it, And all the money is staying right here in Wood County. Bought the truck at Rapids Ford, and it's going to Marshfield to get built. So keeping jobs and keeping money right here in Wood County.
That feels good. That's cool to hear. That's really good to hear. Feels good to hear.
So, so what fundraising effort you got going on right now?
Well, we're starting. We're going to gear up. We've done it 3 years in a row. We've done a monthly raffle, like a gun raffle, and that'll start up. We should probably have tickets before Christmas. You know, we'd like to hit up our family members when they're home.
Yep, good time.
And everybody else. And then I think the month, it'll be either March or April. I can't remember what month yet is going to be. So then every day we do a drawing. And Dave Westfall and our rescue squad, a lot of people they just like to watch us. He does a skit every night with his daughter to pull the ticket. And it's getting to be... he's getting a big following because he goes pretty far extremes.
Is that on your guys' Facebook page? People can see that?
Yes, it'd be on our Facebook page. It's always Facebook Live. That's part of the rules. You have to do it in a public location, and you have to do it at the same time every day. So that's one of the rules from the state. So, yeah, it's publicly viewed.
That's one way you can help out and be a part of this. And certainly there will be others, and we'll be certainly mentioning those, talking about and promoting them. Make sure you guys get good turnouts for these and good numbers for these, especially with the learning more and more, I think, our community, the importance of a group like this. I think it's already been known. I think it was established that, this is important, whether it was, some of the things that Sheriff Becker has said over the years or done, or just, different news stories that have highlighted this organization or anything. It's been noticed, but I really tend to think that at this time of year and as we get more and more into winter months and everything, it kicks in a little bit more for people how important having a group like this is, and having somebody that, whether they're covering bases that aren't covered or they're assisting with other other organizations, other emergency services or anything like that, how important it is to have this. Lance touched on it before. You want that fire extinguisher there. You hope you never use it. You hope you never have to break the glass, but you feel darn good knowing it's there. And it's like that. That's a lot of part of life with an organization like this.
I'm also guessing, but everybody likes to win stuff. Me too.
Right.
But I'm guessing if somebody wanted to make a direct contribution, they could do that too by reaching out to the sheriff's department, probably directly.
Yep. And we do get those every once in a while. Somebody will just send in a check, and sometimes it's organizations, sometimes it's somebody that was in an accident, and then they found out who helped them. And anybody that wants to do that can just send a check made out to Wood County Sheriff's Rescue, and then you just send it to the Sheriff's Department, and we get it.
Yeah, you can never have enough of these kind of people or those kind
Absolutely.
of services. And when we do scenarios and different testing, you always want to stress the system until it breaks. Every system is going to break at some point. We want to have as much capability, as much redundancy as humanly possible, within the realm of what we can afford within our county. But if you're in one of those situations where I have seen them out on the road because there's a multiple vehicle accident, the fire departments or the police departments are stressed to the limit, and then the cavalry shows up, so to speak.
Yeah.
And they've got the individuals, they got the people, and they've got the equipment, and that's what we're striving to maintain in our county.
Before I wrap up the conversation, we will let you know how you can be a part of things, how you can donate, how you can invest, really, in our organization here on Wood County Rescue Squad. As we're wrapping up with you, Mike, a little bit here, because I got some stuff for Lance still. But when it comes to the encouraging people to volunteer, encouraging people to do this, I think one of the greatest ways to do this is to hear from a local, to hear from somebody who has done it and done such incredible work with this for so long, like yourself, Mike. Why did you start doing this?
I started doing it, to be honest with you, as a resume builder.
Sure.
I was applying to be a full-time deputy. I was already on the reserves. I went under rescue, and then it's been just a long. I've been on it for now over 30 years.
30 years, man.
So and did the full-time thing, and then I went into flying, and they kept me on, and I love it.
Yeah.
And matter of fact, if I go back in time, I could see myself maybe out in the mountains in Colorado on a rescue squad or something, flying a helicopter or something.
I can see that. I can envision that too. But we're darn good to have you here. We're happy to have you here.
Thank you very much.
And we're not letting you go. You got to stay here.
Yeah.
You've already set your stone, but you're not underappreciated, sir. Because I've had conversations with many of our officers and with Rapids here, our sheriff's department and everything. there's a lot of appreciation for you and this organization. Appreciate the good work that you and these volunteers are putting in.
Yes.
And in a time like this time of year, thankful for you all, really are. And we hope you have a very, very boring couple of days here. Just a very boring weekend. You got nothing going on. And
Appreciate
everything.
that. Thank you.
And thank you for being here, Mike. Appreciate
Thank you.
the time.
Thank you for having me.
Again, before we wrap up, I'll let you know how you can find out more and be a part of the group if you'd like to, or donate to the group. But I did want to touch on just a couple of things and make Lance work a little bit here.
Thought I had an easy day.
Yeah,
so I brought Mike with.
We got so close. But the last couple of minutes, I did want to touch on the new jail coming up, Lance, and mention that and remind people that is right around the corner, that's going to be opening up. We're going to have a ribbon cutting for it and everything.
Yeah, it's really remarkable. Rumors spread fast. And I had heard some people in town the other day saying, your jail's behind schedule, it's over budget, all kinds of problems. Our jail's ahead of schedule, it's under budget, and we have a ribbon cutting kind of open house. I hate to call it a grand opening for a jail. That sounds kind of funny.
Sounds weird, yeah,
but,
it does. Yeah.
December 17th, right after our county board meeting, they're going to have some public tours of that facility. It's just a fantastic place. I mean, the facility's, it's immense. If you haven't been in it, I don't know if you've been in it, Mike. Mike's part of our sheriff's department.
Multiple times.
It's easy to get lost in there. It'll allow us to provide some of the programming where we hope those people who are incarcerated come back into the community as productive members of society, and that we don't have the recidivism rates that we currently have. It provides, I think most importantly, some real safety for those people who work in the jail. The jailers we have there, those corrections officers. I mean, that is big. Our other jail was not conducive to that. So anyway, on schedule, on budget, grand opening December 17th.
I hadn't heard any of that.
Ribbon cutting December 17th. I actually we were approached by some office holders, different levels of government within the county saying, we heard you have there's some financial issues going on. No, we're actually under budget. We are ahead of time. So, and part of that's been weather. I mean, you think of last winter. We had a winter where they could virtually work every single day. We weren't, didn't have any of those snow days or delays. So everything's moving along, and it's been essentially done. The real construction. I mean, there's some minor trim kind of things. There's electronic controls, those types of things happen. And then, although we're going to have that ribbon cutting, you won't actually have inmates in there until probably February-ish.
Yeah.
And that's because all the certifications that have to occur with the Department of Corrections and all those other regulatory agencies as everything's tested.
Looking forward to this up and running, what it means for our community. I think, even for somebody like me, I'm on the other side of this than you guys are. I was a knucklehead. I know that building a little differently. But even for somebody like me, and my talking to my dad, who was in a similar boat and everything, and have both kind of righted our ships here and stuff. But when we think about that jail, we're thinking about, similar to what you said there, I'm sorry, Lance, one of the things that you said there about our officers, first and foremost, their safety. The clientele there as well deserves to be safe. And I think that part is very noteworthy, too, about this. We're talking safety. We're talking our community saving money. There are a lot of things to be excited about with this jail, even with the considering of what it is for and everything. And another thing that I did hear, I hadn't heard some of the stuff that you said about the chatter about the jail, but I have heard a little bit about a Newwood County park. Let's wrap up on that. That sounds pretty cool, Lance.
Yeah, an opportunity came to the forefront a couple of months ago, and that involved the Sarah Park, the Consolidated Employees Recreation Area up on the river. And due to some of the FERC regulations, the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, it has to remain open to the public to some extent. And they no longer have the either ability and or want to continue to run that. So they came to the county and said, what do you think about this becoming a county park? And it's an opportunity beyond belief, because you've already got the campsites are there. You have roughly 3,000 feet of river frontage, which provides some capability there where, for instance, out at Lake Wazicha, it's a relatively small lake. You put a number of boats on it. Doesn't quite have the opportunity that the river might. So we're working on right now a memorandum of understanding with that group. We think that FERC approval will probably follow, and if everything went according to plans, there's a really good chance that is open as a county park this summer by May. So
that's
working
pretty
on that
quick
process.
Turnaround for that.
Part of that has been our county's been really fiscally responsible with the ARPA dollars we got. Now those are dollars, for those of you who don't know, that don't really exist, that Washington gave away to everybody. So they're going to have to print some money, but we did not go out and spend ours immediately. We worked on some of these infrastructure projects and some things where 20 years from now somebody can point to it and say, That's what the county did.
Yeah.
And so we're able to allocate some of those dollars for that, allocated to that process. And that's the hope, the dream, but I think you're going to see that come to fruition.
I'm going to be all locked in on this story because that's quite an opportunity for our community, for our city, and really for our entertainment, for our economy, a lot of different
Absolutely.
layers. That's really cool. That's very interesting to hear. Thank you for sharing that with us. Again, thank you both so much for the time today. There is so much more that we could have talked about and discussed. That's why you have to come back, Mike. You got to come back. I want to talk to you more, sir. And always looking forward to talking the next time we get to hang out, Lance. Thank you both again for the time. I want to let you know that you can go to woodcountywi.gov. That is one of the ways you can find out more about our Wood County Board our Wood County Rescue Squad. You can find out more about that there. You can also find out ways to donate, to be a volunteer, to be a part of things over there. Mike, are there any other ways people can reach out and find out about the organization?
Well, like you said, the website, there's an application on the website underneath the Sheriff's Department. And there's different icons like underneath the Sheriff's Department. You click on that.
Yeah.
You can call the office and the girl, you can go there and get one, or they will gladly mail you one. And so one of the three ways.
Yeah,
It's easy.
and want to remind everybody to like the Facebook page as well. It's a great way to keep up to date on not only what they're doing over there, but different raffles and volunteer or fundraising opportunities and such. Any way you can be a part of things and help out our Wood County Rescue Squad, greatly appreciate it. And I appreciate you guys and all the work you put into this community. Thank you again for the time today.
Well, thanks for having me.
Yeah. We'll talk again real soon with you guys, and we'll talk with you real soon on Midday Magazine coming up right here on 97.5 FM, 1320 AM, WFHR, locally grown radio.